The civil rights movement was a pivotal part of American history. It started in the mid-1950s and continued into the late 1960s. Its main goal was to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans, and to ensure that all citizens of the United States had equal rights, regardless of their skin color. One of the most famous leaders of the civil rights movement was Martin Luther King Jr. He believed in peaceful protests and led marches, delivered speeches, and organized events to promote equality. His famous "I Have a Dream" speech was delivered in 1963 during the March on Washington and inspired many people to join the cause. At that time, African Americans were often treated unfairly. They couldn't sit near white people in buses, go to certain schools, or even drink from the same water fountains. The laws that forced African Americans to be separate from white people were called Jim Crow laws. These laws tried to make African Americans feel like they were not as important as white people. One of the first steps in the civil rights movement was the 1954 Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board of Education. This decision declared that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. But it didn't mean everything changed at once. It took lots of courage and perseverance from many people to fight for further changes. A brave African American woman named Rosa Parks also played a big role in the movement. In 1955, she refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white person in Montgomery, Alabama. This action led to the Montgomery Bus Boycott, where African Americans refused to ride buses until they were no longer segregated. The boycott lasted over a year and was successful in ending segregation on buses. Throughout the 1960s, the movement grew stronger. People of all backgrounds joined together, participating in marches, sit-ins, and freedom rides. In 1964, a significant achievement was reached with the passing of the Civil Rights Act. This law ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. Despite these victories, the fight for equality wasn't easy. Many activists faced violence and intimidation, but they continued to stand up for what was right. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 was another important law that helped ensure African Americans could vote without facing unfair obstacles. The civil rights movement changed America forever. It showed that when people come together and stand up for justice, they can make a difference. It inspired movements for other groups to fight for their rights and continues to be remembered as a powerful example of how courage and perseverance can overcome hate and discrimination.